welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaQuas Scott, and today we are reviewing 1001.
Did you watch this on streaming or were you able to catch it in the theater?
So I was able to watch this on streaming on Peacock because I missed the theater run. So the intent was to see it at BAM, and I think they had it for a week or two a couple months ago, and then all of a sudden it was like nowhere to be found. What was your experience in seeing this film in the theater?
I thought it was great. I saw it at AMC the first week it came out. I didn't really know what to expect. I had seen a couple trailers, but I didn't recognize anyone in it. I didn't know much about the story, just kind of that she was this mom who was basically taking her child out of the public service system illegally, and then it's just kind of slice of life after that. I thought it was really great, and I loved seeing the New York City backdrop and the old footage that they had, and yeah, it was very compelling story. The acting was great, even though I didn't know who any of them were. They all did a really good job. I recommended it to a bunch of people, but again, it was out of theaters so quickly that I don't think even if they had wanted to take my recommendation, they could have seen it before it left.
Yeah, I was very surprised at how fast it was in theaters. And actually, I feel like they should bring it back because I think I was reminded by someone a few days ago that it was on Peacock. And I was like, oh, good. I do know of Tiana Taylor because a long time ago, when MTV had programming, she was on a show called My Super Sweet 16. It was all about like kids and they turned 16 and they had these like big blowout parties, and hers was featured. And then a couple years later, I heard that she was signed with like Pharrell's like record label, but like nothing kind of matriculated from there. And so I see like I think she's been like in a Kanye video, and like there's some other things. I think she was signed with Kanye at some point, but know that she's like in the music scene, and she's also acted in other things, but I've never seen them until just now. So it's like, oh, she's on the big screen. That's pretty cool. And it's very, 90s. I love the 90s aesthetic. I love the backdrop of the changes in the city, especially in the neighborhood in Harlem, and the kind of like the background of what's going on politically and what's happening to people, and how I just really like the story, yeah, this was a really, really good film. I've been recommending it.
Yeah, I hope it gets like a groundswell of support in the streaming universe so that it gets a little bit more credit.
I feel like this could probably be like Oscar nominated role for Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's just like the film just came out so early.
Let's go to the slide. So you came in higher than I did, but we gave bumps in most of the same categories except costumes, jewelry, and production quality. I had higher Rater's Choice. I did feel like the soundtrack could have been more compelling.
Same. Maybe just because of budget. Like a lot of music is really hard. It's really expensive to license. So I figure that was probably the reason why it was so light on music, and it had the original soundtrack, original score is great. I really enjoyed the aesthetic. Like I thought the jewelry was like there, amazing. The hair and makeup, like it just really puts you back into the 90s, New York City, and seeing all the inspiration. And I just thought it was so good.
Yeah, agree. I did think they did a good job of evoking that time period. Did you have anything else you wanted to call out about this movie?
I really enjoyed the slice of life that it gave it over, a significant span time period. And I was just like laughing to myself because it's like they can't really age her up. Like she's still like the same.
Well,
it was great.
Yeah, I thought the guy, who was the guy? What was his character's name?
Lucky, her
Yeah. I thought Lucky's
husband.
character was so interesting. He was, how he changed over the course of time and clearly loved her, but in like it sort of ebbs and flows with what else is going on in his life. And he has this
Mhm.
conflict going on that he was able to hide from her son for a long time. Did you have anything to plug in this episode?
So looking forward to more indie films like this. Past Lives is on the list as well,
Mm.
as Asteroid City. Yeah, I hear Past Lives is not. It's in a sporadic run, so it has to be in the next like
Week.
couple days. Yeah, couple days, week. Yeah.
So it's right now in the AMC network, it's only at Lincoln Square.
Mhm.
And then, but it's got a lot of viewing times. So I feel like it's in maybe one of their middle to large show theaters since it's the only one in New York. But like next week, I don't really see it expanding out to the other theaters. I imagine it'll still be just Lincoln Square. Maybe Kips
Oh,
Bay every once in a while because
Kips
Kips
Bay
Bay
will
is
get.
like horizontally across from K Town. I think sometimes they'll program a Korean movie in there too, but the roundup's not there. So I don't know if Past Lives will show up there. But I do wish that you could get the show times for AMC before Wednesday. Because sometimes you don't know what the show time for
Yeah,
Thursday is going to be until Wednesday. And I'm kind of a
yeah.
planner. Like I like to know what my weekend looks like before it actually gets here. So if anyone at AMC is listening, that'd be awesome.
Plan ahead.
I want I want to give you guys more notice of when I'm coming to, right? It would be advantageous to the theater to be able to plan ahead for staffing purposes, if nothing else.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.